Hey, what's up everybody? I'm out here in front of People's Park in Davao City. It's actually not quite open yet, but I wanted to shoot, I'm heading out today to General Santos. And I thought I'd shoot a quick video just kind of on my initial thoughts of Davao City, right? I've been here not quite a week. I kind of been hanging out here, love this town. Yeah, so I thought I'd just do a quick review and compare a lot of it really to Cebu City and a little bit of Manila. You know, I spent a little bit of time in Manila also, about the same, really a long weekend. So hardly an expert of Manila or Davao City. I did live in Cebu City for 2 years. So, but yeah, I thought I'd just kind of run through my initial thoughts of Davao City and let you guys know what I thought. Just kind of walk around here a little bit, show you some of the sights of Davao City. So one of the things that stands out right away is it looks like it's a city divided by a river. And I'll put it up in the map, kind of what I'm talking about. There's a river that kind of runs through the town, and you know, similar to Mocktown and Cebu, it can create a little bit of a congestion point. So what I'm really seeing is as you're looking for places to potentially live here, or as you're traveling around through the city, that's kind of a bottleneck area, is the river. So, you know, I'm on the east side of the river now and kind of been doing a lot of stuff on this side, but when I traveled over to the other side of the river, it really added, you know, like for example, a commute that should take like 15 minutes or so with no traffic, it actually took close to 45. So that is one of the things I noticed right away. And on that line, you know, Grab is definitely here. It's here and you can get services. However, the wait times are so much longer than what I'm used to. So I tried to book Grab on several occasions and almost all the time I had a 15-minute wait for my Grab. So there doesn't seem to be nearly as much drivers as Cebu and Manila. The other thing around that is there's no motor taxis. So Cebu is really phenomenal where you have a bunch of motor taxis that you can kind of get around. They don't have any motor taxis here. So a little bit of a bummer, right? One of the things that I find interesting about this city, and I asked a couple of people on this, is that there seems to be more folks from India here. So there's more Indians here. And what I understand around that is that it's due to the universities and college here. There's a lot of medical schools here. So you'll have folks from India come here to kind of get that training, which I thought was pretty interesting. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, a lot more Indian folks out here. So, and a couple things around that is that I would suspect that there are a lot more Indian restaurants because of that, right? So if you're an Indian fan, a fan of Indian food, you know, that would be a benefit. The thing about that, yeah, so it's really interesting. I relate it to like the Koreans in Cebu City. Lots of Koreans in Cebu City, lots of Indians here. My initial thoughts is they really just kind of seemed, you know, they stick to themselves too, right? So I was asking some locals here about that. And one of the things that they brought up is, I guess because some of the diet with the curry, right, there's a little bit of a fragrance typically that's associated with Indian people. I don't know, right? That's what I've been told, and I've heard this on a couple of occasions, which I know we're a little bit off topic here, but I wanted to point to something that's really important. You know, I think we often think of the Philippines as kind of like, I don't know, third world or developing country, but what's really important to the local culture here is smell. And so as a pro tip, if you're coming here, dude, bring your cologne, take showers, be clean, because being smelling good is super key here. So I thought that was just wild, man. And I've heard this before from several people that, you know, not just with Indians in the associated smell that might be there, but just in general, how Filipinos are really, really sensitive to smell. So pro tip, smell good. All right, back on track. So what are some of the pros that I see about being here? Well, I think for one, as you can see in the road here, it's definitely a lot more open. You know, you've got bigger roads, you've got easier ways to travel around. You know, a little bit less traffic, but as we talked, there's definitely some congestion on the riverside. So definitely more expansive, more Cebu, and someone commented this in my last live, Cebu's a pretty claustrophobic. Got big, tall sky rises. The city seems like really compact, which is good. It's a walkable city, right? You can walk around, but Davao seems to be a lot more open with bigger roads and that. And it kind of also seems a little bit cleaner here. You know, I don't see as like the garbage like I do in Cebu City. Yeah, I'm just kind of walking around here. As you can see, they're manicuring the medians there. So a little bit of garbage right here as I'm saying that, but for the most part, it actually does seem a lot cleaner. And it smells less like urine. So definitely a pro with that. Tons of restaurants here. Now there's a lot of restaurants also in Cebu and Manila, but as I'm driving around, I'm just seeing all these restaurants that I want to check out. The Fat Cow was amazing. Yeah, I'm getting to be a fat cow myself. But yeah, lots of restaurants, tons of eateries. Definitely a huge bonus if you're a foodie. I would think Davao City would be a great place to be. Yeah, and I think another thing too that's there as I'm kind of getting out and about are the locals, right? You definitely have a friendly local vibe here. Really chill, cool people. I was hanging out in some motorcycle shops, and you know, the guys were just super friendly and chatted away. Now I did have that in Cebu, but what I think is different here is, you know, as I was in the malls, I often saw that in the malls that the people were friendly and chatty there. In Cebu City, they're not that way so much. You know, it's not like they're unfriendly, but they're a lot friendlier here in Davao in those types of settings. So kind of noticed that, which was pretty cool. All right. Yeah, and that goes on to like giggling girls in the park. You know, walking through People's Park when I first got here. You know, having some giggly college girls and waving and flirty and that kind of deal, right? So a lot more of that you typically see in some of the more remote province areas. But here you're seeing that type of behavior in the big city, right? So that was something I kind of noticed. Yeah, another thing that you have here that you also have in Cebu and Manila is you've got a big international airport. Now, I don't really know what flights would come out of here and what direct, you know, where you can go direct. You still probably will have to fly back to Manila and some stuff, but there is a major international airport. You know, medical facilities, right? Because of that all the nursing and doctor hospitals that we talked about earlier with all the Indian students, there is, you know, medical facilities here that what I would think would be on par with the rest of the Philippines. You know, I know a lot of people talk about, I think it's St. Luke's and Manila. I would suspect you'd have really good medical services here due to all the medical universities. There's a lot of attention towards that. Yeah, I guess just kind of looking at my notes here, I guess that's everything that I have here. You know, I think in closing, what I just want to say about it is, you know, could I live here? Is this a place I would want to live in? And to answer that, absolutely. Absolutely. And I could see myself living here. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm here as of July, honestly. So I'm really, one of the things that I don't think I brought up is that housing seems to be cheaper here. I just looked at when I was changing my tires, a guy was telling me about a 2-bedroom condo that he has for 20,000 pesos. That is so inexpensive compared to Cebu. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
So the housing seems to be a little bit cheaper out here. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a livable city, and I suspect I'll be living here. Now, I don't know if I'd want to make it my permanent residence, but for 6 months, absolutely, I can see being here and checking out the town. I'm really kind of looking forward to it. I like the location of it. You know, I think I've talked about this on my live streams. You know, as a motorcycle enthusiast, a guy who likes to get out and ride his bike, you know, this is really ideal. I've got some great routes to the north. I can get out on my bike. Cebu, a little bit struggled with that, honestly. Oh, these are moving around under my feet. But another pro tip, be cautious when you're walking on things like this. All right, guys, well, that's just, like I said, it really my initial thoughts of Davao City as I'm here kind of wandering around, getting ready to head out. So wanted to shoot this and talk about it, let you guys know kind of what I feel about it. Really dig it down here, and can't wait. Hope it works out where I live here. So that's it for this video. Really appreciate everyone watching. Take care. Empin, ayo, and be the good wolf.